Okay, ladies and gentlemen, got a special announcement here, the Charlotte Motor Speedway, that I'd like to direct your attention to. We have three very special guests here today that represent, some of the finest attributes of our entire sport. And the NASCAR Foundation's Betty Jane France Humanitarian Award, presented by Nationwide, has just recently announced its 4 finalists. And we're going to meet one of those special people here today. But right now I'd like to introduce Lorraine King, who is our Executive Director of the NASCAR Foundation, Terrence Williams, the Chief Marketing Officer of Nationwide, and then one of this year's 4 finalists, Charlotte's own Bob Bowler of Special Olympics, North Carolina. Lorraine, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the award and this year's finalist as we head towards the home stretch of this competition.
Thank you, Kerry. We really appreciate the opportunity to be here today. As Kerry said, I'm Lorraine King, the Executive Director of the NASCAR Foundation, and on behalf of Mrs. Betty Jane France, on behalf of the NASCAR Foundation's Board of Directors and our selection committee for the Betty Jane France Humanitarian Award, we're very honored to be here with Nationwide this year to start a partnership with them as presenting sponsor of the Betty Jane France Humanitarian Award. The NASCAR Foundation launched the Betty Jane France Humanitarian Award in 2011 as a way to honor the work of our founder, Mrs. Betty Jane France, and to recognize those everyday champions that are doing great work for children in our racing communities across the country. Every year we've had 4 very special finalists that we've been able to honor, and this year we have we think a class of 4 additional very, very special people, and we're very proud to be here in Charlotte with Mr. Special Olympics of North Carolina, Mr. Bob Bowler. He is going to tell you a little bit more about himself, but we have 4 finalists this year, and the award itself recognizes these finalists by giving them an opportunity to share their story and their work in the communities across the country and gain awareness and recognition of their cause efforts. In addition, the NASCAR Foundation will present a check to the top vote-getting finalist of $100,000, and all 3 remaining finalists will get $25,000. In addition, our official car sponsor this year, Ford, will present the top vote-getting finalists with a Ford Fusion. So we are very honored to be here. We're very honored to be here with Nationwide and with Mr. Bowler. And so, Kerry, I think you're going to take us through the rest of the press conference.
Right. We're going to thank you very much, Lorraine. And certainly the Betty Jane France Humanitarian Award is nothing. It exudes class and the contributions of people across this great nation and what they do for young people. And certainly Miss France champions that like no other. Terrence, why did Nationwide sign on to be the corporate sponsor of this award? Your great company is involved in so many different initiatives across the sports landscape. Why pick this one?
First, thanks for the opportunity to be here and to chat briefly about why we saw fit to partner with NASCAR for this award. It really comes down to a pretty simple process. Nationwide as a whole is dedicated to the betterment of communities. So what are the things that we can do in the communities that our associates, our agents live and work in for the betterment of them? We have a long history of philanthropic efforts. Since 1926, we've engaged in doing things to support the communities that we live and work in. This is a great opportunity for us to really demonstrate in a couple of ways why, as we say, we're more than a business. Not only does it give us the opportunity to contribute financially to a worthy cause to support the efforts of individuals who are really driving betterment in their communities, but additionally, aside from just writing a check, the opportunity for Nationwide is that we appreciate the opportunity for our associates, our agents, to engage in volunteerism. So the ability for them to work with local groups in their communities that truly make a difference is meaningful to us. So this is a great opportunity on a number of fronts that really align with our belief in supporting the communities that we work and live in.
Thank you, Terrence. You know, Bob Bowler is a native of Charlotte, and he's known around this region as Mr. Special Olympics from North Carolina for his work with the organization. 31 years he has been involved with the Special Olympics, and during that time he's assisted more than 2,500 young Special Olympics athletes with intellectual disabilities over this time period. He's also created a free summer camp, Camp SOAR, which is funded entirely by donations. Bob, congratulations on being named one of the 4 finalists. Tell us a little bit about your volunteer work and how you got involved with Special Olympics North Carolina.
First of all, wow, I can't believe this is happening to me. It's so exciting and so humbling that I'm so proud to be part of the Special Olympic program and really proud to be part of the NASCAR Foundation and Nationwide honoring this program. I'm so excited that Special Olympics North Carolina is one of the finalists for the awards. I'm very passionate about Special Olympics. I've been eat, sleep, and drink it every day, and I've been involved with it for 31 years. And I started it because I wanted to give back to the community and teach my 5 kids about giving back and reaching out to help others and to prosper themselves by learning to be good role models and be good community citizens. And it's been a fantastic ride. I get so much more out of it because they really, with their love, caring, and sharing, they really have boosted my life and my confidence and my self-awareness by just the love and the caring and sharing that goes on every day. Things that we all take for granted, to see the excitement on their faces when they are able to go out and show their abilities and not their disabilities. And I'm so honored to see the life-changing experiences and also bringing in the community with all the volunteers. I had over 500 volunteers for my camp this year of high school, college kids, and companies come out and share the experience and really walk away with tears in their eyes and many high fives and knuckles and handshakes and pats on the back. And it's so glorifying to see all that exposure and the goodwill that takes place every day with these people. I'm just so honored to, 76 years old, but I tell everybody I feel like I'm 39 because they energize you every day and they want to show you that they can do it. They want to be part of the community. They want to be recognized. They want people to show respect and dignity and inclusion and acceptance. And I'm there every day to try to make that happen. So I'm very honored again and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you all. Thank you.
And Bob, what would winning this award mean to you and then more importantly to the Special Olympics in North Carolina?
Well, it's not really about me. I mean, I want to dedicate the award really to the 40,000 athletes in North Carolina, and we have over 25, almost 3,000 right here in Charlotte that I work with, and the parents and the caregivers and all the coaches and volunteers, because we're such a grassroots, volunteer-driven organization. So we basically rely on donations to help us fund the different events. We're trying to raise the quality to give them opportunities to travel to different events, have good uniforms, equipment, good training, train the coaches the way they should be trained. And again, it means so much to be part of that and advocate for that, and to see that Special Olympics, a big part of this award to me is the awareness and the exposure that Special Olympics will receive from all the social media and hopefully all you people talking on behalf of Special Olympics too in supporting the program. So to me, it's a win-win situation, and to me, everybody's a winner, and I'm very glad to be part of it.
Thank you, Bob. And Terrence, I believe now we've got a special announcement, and you know, Nationwide, as we've said earlier, has been very generous with your resources, your people, your time to NASCAR and its different charities. In that regard, I believe you have a special announcement now as it pertains to the Betty Jane France Humanitarian Award finalist for 2015.
Absolutely. Beyond just our sponsorship of the award, beyond our ongoing support and participation in this effort, the whole process of identifying a finalist and then a winner is very challenging. It's my understanding that there were well over 100 nominees that were reviewed to narrow it down to the 4 finalists, with, of course, Bob being one of them. And all of them are doing just incredible work, great work that's really aimed at the betterment of communities, as I mentioned earlier. So Nationwide, based on that, has decided that we'd like to find a way to honor each of the 4 finalists. So based on that, we will be making a contribution, a $5,000 contribution to the charities for each of the 4 finalists who've been nominated for the Betty Jane France Award. So we will, here in a few moments, present a check to Bob for $5,000
Thank you.
for the Special Olympics.
Made my day. I had one other thing I meant. We were talking about the money, where the donation would be going for. Is Special Olympics has now started a unified program throughout the country, and certainly through North Carolina, where we're working with 250 schools. And unified means get the regular population, general population of the students to, again, be part of the Special Olympic program, where they'll put together volleyball teams, basketball teams, social events, tutoring, eating lunch together, and really bringing everybody together and for acceptance and breaking down that isolation, and also hopefully eliminate a lot of bullying that goes on, to educate the general population about our special needs community and reach out to them and show them the care and loving and sharing and everything. So a lot of the money will be used for these programs that we're trying to start up with.
Thank you, Bob. And certainly, if any of you all have ever worked a Special Olympics event, it's an experience that you'll never forget. We've got time maybe for a couple of questions for anybody up front here, Terrence, Lorraine, or Bob. If you have a question, raise your hand and we'll come to you. Stan and then David.
Stan Creekmore with RPMTonight.com. I'm sorry, these events bring tears to my eyes. Bob, at 44, 45 years of age, you could have made any choice in helping any form throughout the world. Was there a moment in your life that sent you where you went?
Well, when I was young, my father had a friend come over to the house, and he asked me to go out and play with his son, and his son had cerebral palsy and some intellectual that I didn't really realize at the time. And I started tossing the ball with him, and he couldn't catch it. And I just, in my heart, I guess, and this, I think I'm 11 or 12 years old, I was determined that he was going to catch that ball. So we played for an hour probably, and finally he caught it and came up and gave me a big hug. And I said to my dad after, I said, "This is great. This is something I think I want to be more involved with as I grow older, I guess." And I guess with my 5 kids, and I coached 4 of the 5 in recreational sports, and went through all the parents yelling and screaming, and the kids, trying to teach them. They all thought they were Michael Jordans and all that. And I heard about Special Olympics and went over to volunteer at the spring games, and had a couple of teachers said, "We need help," and I had 2 or 3 cling to me, and I saw the look and the happiness in their eyes that somebody was taking their time to be with them. And I thought that this is something for me and for my kids to be involved in forever. And that's been what it's like for many, many years. I hope to do it for many more years.
We'll take one more question here from David.
Bob Davis-Scott from the Charlotte Observer. How have the Special Olympics grown and developed over the years that you've been involved?
Well, fantastic. I mean, we're probably maybe the 4th largest state going right now. We have over 40,000 just in North Carolina. I think when I started, it was probably 15,000 or so. So I mean, it's just amazing with population growth, more kids being diagnosed with autism and things like that, and more awareness that families are looking for something for their child to be part of and be involved in, not only for the sports end of it, but for the social skills and the friendships and all that. And I think when I started in Charlotte, I've been a board member for 31 years. I think we had about 600 or 700, and that's 31 years ago. Now we have, I think we just hit about 3,500 this year. So it's tremendously growing, and that's why there's such a need for donations and funding and more volunteers. I always go out and try to get volunteers, because then I think the money will come once people see what it's worth and what it's all about.
And Bob, before we close, I understand you have a long-standing history with Charlotte Motor Speedway. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it goes back about 30 years. A lady named Vanjie runs promotions and motions. Somehow we connected, and she said, you know, do any of your athletes like racing? I said, boy, do they ever. I said, every day, every Saturday at practice, I got a bunch of them that'll talk about watching the race on TV. Some of them wear their race hats, the different drivers that they love, and even T-shirts and all that. And I said, they'd love to, a lot of them never have a chance to come to a racetrack. So she said, I think I can get 50 tickets for pole night. And if you can bring them and help me with some of the snacks and stuff, we'll feed them, and then we'll take them up at 7 o'clock to watch the pole night. And I said, fantastic. So I got a couple of volunteers, and I went and got some dry ice so we could freeze the ice cream, and brought them over, and she brought a couple of the young drivers over. Well, that was 30 years ago, and now this year we had 500 tickets and 500 athletes and young people come out to really enjoy the pole night, meet some of the drivers. She has a simulated car there for them to get in and all that. So that was the beginning of it. And then in the business I was in, a salesman, I used to entertain many of my customers, taking them tailgating, taking them down to Rockingham, Darlington, coming out here. And also I had a chance to ride around the track one time with Kenny Schrader, and that was quite an experience, and that was fun. And I watched the races on TV and kind of follow some of the drivers. I always admired Kyle Petty, Richard Petty, for starting Victory Junction, because that's kind of what my camp's about. And Jeff Gordon and many of the drivers who have nice, great foundations to help to give back to the community, and that's, to me, what it's all about. So I'm a big fan of NASCAR.
Well, Bob, thank you very much. Congratulations. Best of luck. Lorraine, thank you for the great work that the foundation does. And Terrence, certainly, we can't thank you enough nationwide. Such a great partner for NASCAR for many, many years, and we're very appreciative of that.